You guys, look who I found in Los Angeles! It's Jen Cohn!
Hello, hi!
Jen is visiting on vacation, and she was kind enough to stop and do a quick video, a quick I Am Fun size video. And we're doing it in my car because it's so
much
glamorous
fun.
in my
It's
car.
really gorgeous.
You guys have seen a lot of the inside of my car. Clearly, I live in Los Angeles. So, I often ask the same question of people when I do the I Am Fun size videos with my friends.
I love it.
But I'm going to tweak this one a little bit. Because usually I ask, if you were speaking to your younger self, what would be a piece of advice that you would give to her, knowing what you know now?
Okay.
But I'm also going to ask you, you know, you have reinvented yourself in so many different ways during your lifetime. And we're going to do a whole separate additional I Am Fun size with her when I have like an hour to spend with her,
Which we will. We look forward
to bribe her into spending with me, because she has such a tremendous background and such a beautiful life that she's created, and I really want you guys to hear about it. But you have traveled in so many different walks of life and created a life that works for you up against a lot of different obstacles at the same time. So what advice would you give to your younger self to deal with obstacles as they come your way? What would be the one piece of advice that you, or a piece of advice that you would say to that person as she was perhaps being discouraged or distraught by the things that were in her way, creating the life that she wanted?
Oh my God. Off the top of my head, there are three things.
Awesome. One.
The first is, it was a piece of advice that the stage actress Cherry Jones gave. I heard, and I loved it so much. And a friend of mine is a theater professor.
Oh, if you all don't know who Cherry Jones is, look her up. Many of you will recognize her from her television and film performances, but she's a stellar genius stage actress as well. Cherry Jones.
A stage animal.
So
and
I'm just
she
going to
has
touch
this
you
great,
because you know Cherry Jones, and then we're going to go on.
She gave this incredible piece of advice. That's the advice she gives to all students whenever she speaks at a school or whenever she goes away. And it was advice given to her from her grandmother. And the advice is, never confuse your self-worth with your success or lack of it in your career. Which is very profound. And when you sit and digest that and think about that, I think a lot of times people feel particularly high on themselves when they're feeling very successful, or feel really awful and down about who they are if they're not successful or going through a rough patch. Yeah. And that idea of separating yourself from your career successes or career stumbles is very important to you as a person, and to you as a creator, and as you as someone making a life for yourself. So that's one.
That's a great one.
Huge.
That's just one, you guys, and it's already
Huge.
a gem. Two.
Number two is something my husband said to me when I was just starting to get a really good voiceover career going. And I was like really nervous about knocking on certain doors and about making things happen, and there were certain things that really frightened me. And he said to me, you know, you can't treat your career like it's a delicate little egg. You can't be worried that, you know, every time if you do something wrong that you're going to splat. You are not an egg, you are a Tonka truck.
Oh,
you are a Tonka
snap.
truck. And you need to be willing to smash into the wall, and you need to be willing to get dinged and get scratched and get dented. That is what makes a Tonka truck great, and a Tonka truck can withstand that.
Wow.
You are not an egg, you are a Tonka truck. That changed everything.
And that's really special, not only to get that piece of advice, but to get that from your
the guy
life
who ended
partner.
up married?
Yeah, to get that from someone who's there for your whole life. Now that's a hubby.
And he saw me really like that spun my attitude about going about things, and about not being afraid of making mistakes and not being so worried about it. And that bleeds into the next one. The thing I wish someone had told me, I thought when I was coming out of school that I had to be purist, and I really had to only single-handedly pursue one thing, and that if I was in any way divergent, then it wasn't, you know, a pure love of my art or whatever. And I tell everyone, am I allowed to curse?
You're allowed to. We might beep it because there are some youngsters listening.
Okay.
But you can.
You know. Okay. I'll make it. Okay. It's that you need to throw all the crap you can at the wall and see what sticks. throw crap at the wall. When you have an idea, you do it. You throw it at the wall. If it isn't good, whatever, doesn't matter. No stakes, no loss. The loss is when you have the idea and you don't do it. You should be just throwing things at the wall every time you have an idea. It doesn't matter if your goal is to be a rocket scientist, but you also want to be in a rock band, but you also have an idea about, I don't know, baking cakes and making videos about it, but you also do every single thing that turns you on. You have no idea which is going to take. You have no idea which paths will converge and create some bizarro dream career that you had no idea would exist. It's only by doing those things and taking those risks and seeing what sticks and seeing what doesn't, and having that inform you to go in the next direction. And don't worry about perfection, and don't worry if it's the right one or the wrong one, or if it was a mistake, or if you did it badly. Oh, and I've got one more. I've got a fourth.
Oh my God, bonus!
A fourth.
Bonus, guys,
and
bonus.
This one is one I constantly have to remember, and this is one that to me is like that. Don't let perfection be the enemy of good. And I think I said that right.
Yep. No, you're absolutely. I think you absolutely did. You're absolutely right. Because I've talked about this a little bit in previous videos, but putting it that way is very specific. Like, don't get perfection keep you from doing it.
You don't. It doesn't need to be perfect.
It's such a great excuse for not doing anything. Is I want it to be perfect.
Oh my God.
It has to be perfect. No, it really doesn't have to be perfect. And who says what's perfect? Who gets to decide what's perfect?
And you don't know, because your good enough might be brilliant for something else, or your good enough might lead you in a different direction other than what you might have originally thought was perfect. It is so important to just do it and let good enough be enough, and let good enough be okay. Like, don't make the pursuit of perfection stop you. That's huge.
Dude, you guys, this might be my favorite I Am Fun Size so far. That was so good, right?
Thank you.
I already told Jen that I'm going to accost her next time I'm in New York, and we're going to spend an hour together. So you guys will have a lot more Jen Cohn. But in the meantime, please send more of your questions to Anjali at IamFunsize.com. If you like these videos, share them. There will be more Jen Cohn in the near future.
Grateful.
And I love you guys. Bye-bye. Bye. We both just did the Hillary Clinton thing, didn't we?